Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to Allotment of the Dead. Thought I'd come down today and give you guys a bit of a tour around the plot. The heat here has been absolutely unbearable in places. Polytunnels and things, 40 degrees today. It's about 29, 30 degrees now just outside. The polytunnels especially have been under quite extreme heats over the last few days. Having to come down pretty much every day. I think I missed 2 days going back about 3 or 4 days ago of coming down and watering. And when I got down here, pretty much there was so much, especially things in pots, that were kind of struggling. So I managed to revive them, and well, you'll see for yourself when I show you kind of the pots and things, what's going on in them. They're all going to need a water again today. This heat it's one of those things, evaporates pretty much everything that you put down in terms of water. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right, let me just switch you around and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, I've put you on director's view so you can see kind of what I'm going to be doing. There is a couple of things probably around the plot I can probably taste today as well, and we'll see how it goes. Right, so that's our lovely, well-maintained pathway at the centre of our plot that one of our absolutely fantastic plot holders keeps under control for us. Right, let's show you what's going on then. So, head of the plot again. So the grapes I never removed are doing quite well this year. Chardonnay grapes never really grow very big, and I haven't really gone overboard with the watering. So whatever's here is literally left to its own devices. There's little clumps of grapes everywhere, and I don't know, there's something in the back of my head going, do you really want to get rid of these? But then you kind of see this area here where everything seems to take over, and you think, well, maybe, even though the grapes are absolutely fantastic. Right, so we've got the tomatillos. So I have left the plants for now. I did do a bit of a harvest, and there is still some growing here, so I will probably get round to actually harvesting the rest of those, and we'll see how it goes. And then, okay, trying to keep the sun behind me. I think the lilies are pretty much now ready to probably chop down to the ground. I've tried to leave them a little bit longer just so that any of the goodness that we've got here still in the leaves, which have been hit pretty heavily by that lily beetle, is able to go back into the tubers underneath. And yeah, looks like we've got a self-seeded woodlea. Not sure what colour that's going to be. I might take that out and pot it on. See what happens. Yay. I quite like buddleias, although they are potentially a little bit of a weed in some places. Okay, and then this one again, this is the other lily. This was the tiger lilies. So again, they've pretty much now, there we go, gone to seed. Little seeds in there now. I haven't really grown lilies from seed. I'm not sure how well they do. I probably won't again. So again, we'll do the same here. So we'll chop this down to the ground. And again, I might pot on that self-seeded foxglove we've got there. The josta berries I cut pretty much back to the trunks have grown back. Quite a bit of growth. They do take up a lot of room though, so I'm not sure I want to keep them there. It's again one of those berries that is quite tasty, but potentially, I don't know, they can just take up so much space and have there's so much that potentially you could actually have in that space instead. It's a good place for pots, things like your potatoes and things like that. Right, we'll go into this area here. So it looks like the foxes have been back in force here. Unfortunately, they've decided to actually start digging in this one rather than my carrot bed, at least, or at least they can't get to the carrot bed now. But I think they're still doing a bit of digging, and the beetroot that I've got here, Again, need a good watering, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think I'm going to be totally fighting with foxes for pretty much the entire time that we've got these allotments. I think they were here before us, and I think they're probably going to be here long after we've gone. Right, so the horizontal or Aztec broccoli is just, again, starting to go to seed. These are the bits you can eat. In fact, you can probably eat the entire plant here, so that entire thing could be taken, put in a nice stir fry. These haven't grown as well as they could because I didn't really cultivate them this year. These are all self-seeded. They would normally get to about 5 meters, not 5 meters, about 2 meters tall. And these, again, you can see the similarities in these between this and Fat Hen, which is kind of the same family, almost amaranth-like in the way it grows. My parsnips seem to be laying a bit flat at the moment, so again, I probably should have, I don't know, thin these out a little bit. I haven't done. I think I've kept them all in one, but we'll see. We'll see what the season brings them. I'll give them all a good watering again today, because I think everything needs that watering. The weeds are doing really well though. Blooming things. The bindweed. Keep saying to people, same family as sweet potato. So if you could only eat bindweed, or actually grew something that was beneficial that you could eat, like a sweet potato, it'd be better. So I've got some of my beetroot now are rooting up. So hopefully I'll get some to harvest. And we'll see how that goes. I've got some more on the go now. I've actually planted another load more in cells. So hopefully they'll do okay and I can transplant them on. Right, my ricin. So this is my castor bean plant. Again, we're into the start of that time when it starts to flower. And they have these gorgeous little weird alien-like flowers. Doesn't really smell much, but yeah, absolutely amazing. And it's amazing really what potentially these little cocoons can actually give rise to. Like I say, the prettiest seed I've ever seen in my life, and probably the most dangerous. As I've said before, Guinness Book of Records says this is the most toxic plant in the world. But again, it's the seeds that make it the most toxic. This is my new plants I bought at the weekend. Let me see if I can actually get out the light and show you. There we go. That looks a bit prettier. So these absolutely gorgeous. I really like my pelargoniums. Almost like a member of the, I think it is a member of the geranium family. But the leaves on most of the pelargoniums that I've bought have been scented, and this one is no different. So I've got two of the same variety, and it's actually scented like mint. So I've got, you know, cola, rose, sandalwood, and now mint. Absolutely gorgeous smell when you come past here. All right, we'll go into the aubergine house. We'll just take a look at the dahlias as we go past. I've got to deadhead them, and I've got to plant this one properly in the pot here. Nice concrete pot I got from my mum's house when we cleared it. Right, we're into the aubergine house. So it's been 39 degrees in here. Plenty growing still though, and plenty needing water. So the aubergines plants now have started to pick up a bit better. The nice little flowers and things are doing okay, and some of them are getting quite big, so I probably need to start supporting some of these. Again, Solanum family, so all of these are potentially going to have nice little thorns everywhere and things like that, but we are getting some aubergines coming on them now, which is quite nice. And yeah, I left these in here still in the pots. So these are all tomatoes I've just left. Not quite the same as a sucker tomato, but these have actually all, I think, now rooted into the ground. So I don't know, I might just support them and see if I get anything off them. These were pretty much going to be thrown away, I think. I wasn't going to plant these anywhere. I didn't really have any space for them, but they seem to have taken hold here. So I'll let them get on with it, and we'll see if we can get any fruit off them. My wasabi, I think there's been some new growth on this. Nice little leaves there. So it's getting plenty of water, as you can tell from the moss that's growing. So we'll keep that going. Should be fine. And we're going into the callaloo. So callaloo is a Caribbean vegetable. You can harvest all of these leaves. They're like a spinach, and it is again a member of the amaranth family. So again, you get these really nice spears of flowers which will turn into like a grain. So if you were to actually crush the grain, you can actually make flour out of it. And as well as that, we've got two other members of this amaranth family. So we've got this one here, which is the Shiso. So this is a Japanese amaranth. Again, you can eat the leaves like spinach, and you can eat the flower spikes as well to an extent. It's not something I've really tried on either of these. I'm not really that keen on eating flowers, other than nasturtiums. They're okay. And then the one at the back here is Epizote, which again is a Japanese variety of, again, fat hen, so same sort of family. And again, you can eat pretty much every part of it, really. So we'll try that. The corner here is the area that I put my Brad's Atomic grape, and they don't usually do very well anywhere I put them. They usually look quite straggly and a bit crappy and old and knackered, and they never really grow to a decent size or give you much in the way of fruit. But what fruit they do give are absolutely delicious. We've got a nice little tomato growing there. If I can, there we go, hopefully. I think the issue is here. I think we're getting a little bit of humidity in here as well, which isn't helping. The melons at either end in the hanging baskets are doing okay. I haven't got any flowers in here yet. Not like, oh, we have a few. There we go. So we've got some male flowers coming. Normally you get the males before the females. So they put a load of male flowers out. They see if the insects are interested, and then they start putting out the female flowers, which will turn into your developing fruit. We'll show you a bit further on in the polytunnel as to how they're doing. And we've got a couple of cucumbers in here, which are again giving me nice little cucumbers just starting to grow there. So this is a couple of gherkin varieties, so really small varieties. My wormwood is doing okay. So again, this is the plant that you get the absinthe made from. It's got a weird smell to it. So one I like, I don't mind it, but yeah, a bit of a weird smell to it. And then right next to that is the ice plant, which has got these kind of weird looking leaves. It almost looks like it's got little ice crystals on the stems, which gives it its name. And you can actually eat the entirety of this plant. You know, you just knock a bit off. It's quite crunchy. It tastes a little bit like what's the one you get from the beaches that you put into the I'm sure it'll come to me. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm sure it'll come back to me. Right, and then just here, I think some of the YouTube gardeners are putting in suckers. So these are suckers off the Brad's Atomic. So there's about 3 in there, and I think they've rooted. But again, Brad's Atomic grape, even the plants that you kind of grow don't look great. I'm definitely going to have to cut some of the leaves out of this just to put a bit more air into this whole area. But the suckers, yeah, they don't look great either. Right, let's move out into the rest of the plot. Oh, it's nice to come out of there. So 39 degrees, not the best place to be when it's that hot. And the heat again, I think, has taken some of these kale plants, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to probably take those out because they don't particularly taste very nice when they go to seed. They start getting a bit bitter, and it looks like, I don't know whether you can see that there. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Well, I can't zoom in on this one, but I think you might be able to see on there I've got a cabbage white butterfly caterpillar. So even though I've got this netting up, and it looks like they stripped the plant behind it and a few others, and even though I've got this lovely apple of Peru plant, which again is another Solanum species called shoe fly, which is supposed to keep the flies away, hasn't kept the butterflies away. So yeah, I think I'm going to lose some of the leaves to the cabbage whites, and I'm probably going to have to leave this open at some point so the blooming things can get out, so that it's not an enclosed growing space for cabbage white butterflies. That would be crazy. It'd be horrible. Right, this is my coriander patch, which is no longer coriander, it's mostly weeds. Again, coriander goes to seed very, very quickly in the UK. I've been given some seeds from India by someone on the plot here, so hopefully I'll give those a go and see if there's any difference. This whole thing needs weeding and starting again, so I'll be replanting with some different coriander and seeing what happens. Can only do better than that. Got some nice magenta type chard in there, and I've planted some more chard in the new build in some container wise cells, so hopefully I'll be able to plant some more in there. And the dahlias are looking nice now. I mean, I love these absolutely gorgeous, great big headed big yellow dahlias, absolutely gorgeous. And the white ones named after my mum, so they're all called Evelyn. So there's a variety called Evelyn. Same spelling as well, which you don't get very often with anything really. Right, let's see if I can get past here. So this here, again, is things I've actually brought back from my mum's house, which I can hopefully use down here. I don't know whether you are like me in some respects, in that you see something that somebody else is throwing away and think, I can use that for something. So generally that's what happens. We generally start accumulating, well, rubbish I suppose in some respects. I know if I don't use it in the next month or so, I'll probably get rid of it. I've got a load of the tayberries and loganberries growing across the space here. So these are all the new canes that need tying in for next year. So all the fruit now is pretty much gone. There's a couple here and there, but most of the fruit is now gone on these. So we can actually start cutting the old stuff out and tying in these new canes for next year. It should make the place look a bit more presentable. We'll see how that goes. Right, the white buddleia has been the last one to flower, and we are getting some nice blooms on this still. It's the last one. I think all the other buddleias unfortunately have gone over. We've got the datura plants here. Again, they're going to need a little bit of water. Anything in a pot, they start drooping leaves and things like that. So you've got to get down and water these quite often. The henbane, again, these I think are all going to seed now. I'm going to hopefully collect some of the seed here and then grow some more for next year. They've been quite pretty in some respects. Not something I would normally grow for prettiness or anything like that. This is the bitter nightshade. So again, you get these lovely little, absolutely gorgeous looking berries on there. So the birds are supposed to love these. I haven't seen many birds at these yet, but we'll see if they do. Again, toxic, not something that we can eat in the UK. Well, not something we can eat anywhere really. And like I say, the datura, the other name for them is the thorn apple, and that is why. So again, you get these absolutely fantastic, great big fruits on them. It's a weed in some places, so we're going to have to make sure that I actually harvest those when they're ready. and so we don't actually have them growing everywhere on the plot. I don't want them to be uncontrolled. So I've got a few lettuce which I'm going to have to water again, and in here and in this bed here I planted some radish, so I'm hoping they'll come up. Again, I've not had much luck with radish over the years. They usually bolt quite quickly. That being said, the seed pods on radish often taste better than the radish itself. You can put them into all sorts of curries and things like that. They're really, really good. Right, we'll show you the other. So this is the white henbane. Still got some nice little flowers on there. There's a few kicking around. The smell here is okay. It's supposed to be stinkweed, the other name for this, but it's not been too bad. And then this one here is the hairy balls plant. I'll put the Latin name up on the screen so you know what it is. And again, you get these kind of weird flowers that turn into these almost bladder-like things. Haven't seen them yet, but we'll see how that goes. The other datura here has again flowered, and I'm sure we're probably going to get a few more of those seed things on here. I think there should be some more flowers coming off this as well, though. I think all of these have gone over now. Okay, right, so the aconitum is still not flowered on these. There's going to be some absolutely really massive flower spikes on these, I think. Partly because I think they're growing amongst the Jerusalem artichokes here, which I don't like. I've tried to get rid of these three years in a row, and they've always said if you actually leave one artichoke in the ground, it'll all grow back again. And unfortunately, I've missed one every single time I've tried to get rid of them. So again, I'm going to have to try again. So the other name for this is the sunchoke, because the actual plant itself grows like a sunflower. So they're called sunchokes in America. Jerusalem artichokes. You eat the tubers, and they give you farts. Hence the name fartichokes. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to hopefully when these actually come out and actually giving me some really nice flowers. But we'll see how that goes. Right, we'll move around. So again, I've got some more narangilla in the pot. So this was the potato pot that I actually reused the soil on. And the narangilla will hopefully grow quite well. Again, already looking quite lethal. Haven't got any fruit on this one or on the other one yet. So this is the RAF tomatoes. So we've got some lovely tomatoes growing there. This is a bush variety. Doesn't get much bigger than this. This is about as tall as it gets. But the actual fruit on them are supposed to be really quite large and really quite tasty. So we'll see how they look. The acacia, again, I was quite late getting this in. Has just started growing up the canes now. Hopefully should grow to the top here before they start putting their fruit out, but it's quite likely that they're going to actually fruit when they're close to the ground, unfortunately, this year. The fat hen is doing better than some of the other plants, so I'll get rid of those. Right, so these are the beans. So I've got some absolutely gorgeous dragon's tongue beans there. So these you can use them like this, put them into stir fries, that sort of thing, or steam them, use them as you would a runner bean. And I've also got some purple queen beans there, and I'm doing my bit to conserve beans. And so these green ones here are the Independence bean. So again, thanks again to Paula for sending them over, because we're going to get quite a few beans off these that we can hopefully grow into the next years. I will probably eat some of them, but I'm probably going to keep most of the beans off these to grow again for next years and subsequent years, because they are quite scarce in quite a few countries. Right, for me to show you the sunflowers, I think I'm probably going to have to go the other side. So that's what we'll do. Okay. So my sunflowers are just starting to grow well. I think I had to come out of the sun really to show you these properly. Some fantastic different shades and colours. Doing really, really well. Always like a nice sunflower. I think the birds will as well eventually. Okay, we'll come around, we'll show you into the new build. So again, it's going to need a bit of a watering in here. So the Ense water spinach, I've tried some of the leaves off these, they're okay. Again, you use it like spinach. Probably not something that I'm going to grow too much of in the future. The purslane, again, this is quite a salty plant. Quite nice. Genuinely can't go too wrong with that. So I've got a sorrel growing at the back here. I've got a little bit of winter savoury, which I think this clary sage is kind of out competing. Smells really quite nice. And the basil, I'm definitely going to have to start harvesting some of this, getting it either turned into a pesto or maybe dried out and actually used as a dry herb. Get the dehydrator out. The grass here, it just looks like I've planted a load of grass, kind of couch grass or something. So this is lemongrass. So when it gets a bit thicker, or hopefully it will. Don't smell much of lemons at the minute. Maybe I've just planted grass. I don't think I have, but we'll see how that goes. And my mint has all started to go over now. So most of it now has gone to flower. Again, I'll take the shears to this a bit, get it under control a bit better than it is now. It's a bit of a mess at the minute. So the things I've started planting, so we've got the beetroot, spring onions. There's a little one or two there. I need to again water these. A bit more beetroot here, so that's all growing nicely. Chinese cabbage. Okay, here's me hoping that these, at least some of these, I can actually turn it into a proper cabbage. We'll see how that goes. And again, the pak choi again started nicely. Chard, I've got 4 different kinds of chard there, and there we go, let's do it like that. So all 4 are growing okay. Again, they need some more water. Things are drying out so quickly in this weather, unfortunately. The fellow at the back there, I am definitely going to need to put it in a nice pot. So this is the Szechuan pepper plant. It's I don't know if you guys have tried Szechuan peppers. They are proper kind of, they've got an anesthetic effect on your tongue. So they can actually numb your tongue when you eat them. But again, we'll see what happens with this plant. I definitely need to get into a pot before too long. And then I've got at the top there a few more things like fennel and mustards and things like that growing. And then here as well. Okay. Okay, let's show you into the polytunnels before we do the other bits and pieces. So, like I said, polytunnels definitely need watering every day, or you're going to end up with a lot of limp plants that are unfortunately just going to die on you. So this here is the wonderberry. So again, part of that nightshade family, part of the same family as the tomatoes and the chilies, potatoes, that sort of thing. So you can see again these little tiny little flowers that look a little bit like potato flowers. So each of these little flowers hopefully should turn into a berry. So wonderberries, when they're green they are poisonous, when they're black they're supposed to be quite tasty, but we'll see how that goes. Right, let's go into the polytunnel. So the tamarillo is still growing really well, quite tall. Look at the trunk on that, absolute beast. And again, that smell, definitely kind of that peanut butter smell to it. No fruit as yet, so this, again, as we say, they call it the tree tomato, still doing really well. Cucumbers, I need to get these under control, they're gone a bit mad. But if you notice here, these are the Sikkim variety of cucumber, so these go brown when you harvest them. Bit of a thicker skin. You generally eat the insides of these. You can actually put these into a nice Nepalese pickle. Really quite tasty. And the other cucumbers are growing. Again, need a bit more consistent watering, I think, in here for me. Haven't been particularly good. I've got peppers growing well pretty much everywhere at the moment, so I need to probably start harvesting some of these. And you'll see as we're walking around, there's absolutely loads of peppers everywhere. My melons are doing great. That's the largest one we've got in here so far, which, let's put my hand around it, there you go, you have an idea of the size. I'm quite pleased about these. So, blimey, there's quite a few, didn't realise there was that many. Okay, so these are all growing in a hanging basket. So thanks to Ali for that bit of a tip. What variety are these? So these are sugar babies. So these ones are supposed to get quite big. Yeah, we'll see how they go, see how they get on. But yeah, they're doing okay so far. Right, the other, so these again are the, more kind of gnarly varieties of chili. So these are the scorpion chilies. Again, growing quite well. I'm quite pleased overall with the chilies this year. Where I've not got much in the way of chilies, I've got plenty of flowers, but I've got plenty of chilies growing on these as well. So I think this one's Big Sun at the back there, some really quite robust ones. So this is the Ahi Charapita. So this one is the one that is supposed to be the most expensive chili in the world. And again, you've got these little tiny little flowers and you get tiny little fruit on them, which is why it's expensive. It takes a fortune to actually harvest the things. Again, I've got some nice, these are skunk red, so again some super hot chilies. The big mama corner is now starting to pick up a bit. Again, we're getting these nice fruits hopefully coming on these. See, there's already bits and pieces trying to grow there. Give the plants a bit of a shake, we'll get that pollination going. The sweet banana peppers, I need to probably harvest those. Again, doing really well. And I've got some of the Uchi cream now going red. So I found this one quite hot. I think they'll be hotter when they're red, maybe. The dragon breath. So this is a dragon breath chili. Look how gnarly that is. That's going to be proper hot, I think. It's supposed to be nearly Reaper status in terms of heat. So we'll do a tasting video on that one, see if it kills me. Right, and then just behind me in the pot here, so this is the one I want to overwinter. So these are the ricotta peppers, or hairy chili peppers. So again, we've got some nice fruit growing on these. These get quite solid, robust, quite thick skinned. Quite a really nice tasting pepper, that one. The tomatoes I've got in hanging baskets, we have got some growing, and I think, oh, there might be a red one there. There we go. Okay, this is my first tomato of the season. That'll do. Mmm. Maybe it could be a little bit riper, but that's really quite tasty. Right, again, more chilies. So these is Targa Mores. Again, some red ones as well, so we can take some of those. I think these are only about 20,000 Scovilles. I'm not overly 100% sure exactly, but we'll see. The Orion, so this is the Orion chili. Again, got some quite gnarly pods, but doing really, really well. So again, we'll try some of these a bit later on. Doing really well. And we're actually moving into the Russian roulette area. So these are the chilies I don't know much about, so I don't 100% know what type these are. They look quite almost cayenne pepperish. I guess we'll find out when we try them. They're going to probably blow my head off, some of these. I've got some round ones here as well, which again, if you guys have got any idea what sort that is, let me know. And again, we've got some more here. Again, I don't know what sort these are. We'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out when we start eating them. Right, so got my first cucumber melons. The wife had the first one the other day. This is the second one. We've got a few more growing, kicking around. Yeah, there you go. There's another one there. They're okay. Acquired taste, a bit cucumbery, a bit limey. There's a bit of a citrus taste about them. And we'll go into the other polytunnel, which is still overgrown with these absolutely fantastic nasturtium everywhere. The entire polytunnel smells a bit like these nasturtium. Again, not such much a bad thing. And again, I've got the melons here in hanging baskets. And again, we've started these nice little flowers on them. So hopefully we'll have some fruit on these soon as well. Some more kabachi peppers. So I've had one harvest off these. We've got some red ones there as well. I've already pickled some of those already, and they've done really well and absolutely fantastic. I think I'm going to harvest a couple of these to go in my curry. So poblano peppers, again, absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic taste to them. They go really well in a curry. Let me just grab a couple of those, I think. There we go. Right, so there's another one there. Yeah, I've got plenty of peppers I need to harvest. I'm going to try one of these as well. So this is one called Blot. Oh, I think I've just taken half the plant with it. Not what I was hoping to do. But again, absolutely gorgeous colour to some of these. Kind of red ones and purple ones. Right. Let me just stick that with the rest before we carry on. Right. We've got the citrusy kind of lemon drop chilies over here. You can always tell a lemon drop chili because they're a little bit flat in some aspects. Again, we're expecting these hopefully to go nice and yellow. I've got a nice, the Zabaranga peppers have just started to get colour. There we go, in there. Yeah, let me see if I can harvest one of these. I might try one of these as well. Okay, so yeah, kind of a weird looking thing. I maybe should have left this one get a little bit bigger. But again, something nice for the curry tonight. Right, we've got some nice, so these are the hot wax chilies. So again, we'll get a couple more of those. I wonder if that one's actually crossbred with something else. Bit of a weird one, that. Trying to harvest as we go. Right, so we'll go into the rest of the tunnel. So I've got this self-seeded Cape gooseberry. So you get these kind of little lanterns growing on it, all with a developing fruit inside, which will be kind of citrusy flavour to them. The purple mamp, I think one of my colleagues has asked me to actually taste one of these, but these are actually quite a large size, a little bit larger than the ones we've tried already, which were at the back here. So that's the ripe variety, I think. So what I'll do is I'll take probably one of the ones from the back, and he can try that at his leisure. Hopefully won't kill him. My other ahi varieties. So this is Nortano, which means north, so it's like a north pepper. And then within here we've got these absolutely gorgeous space chilies. So we've got, again, a variety of different colours, flavours, sizes of all of these space chilies. Let's see if I can show you here. So we've got these absolutely wonderful things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and harvest at least one from each of these types. So I have got all 10 varieties growing here, but I'm going to need to harvest them carefully so I get the name of them when I take them. I have also got plenty of other cayenne varieties growing here. So this little fella here, I say little fella, it's quite a large, long thing. So this is the Joe's Long Cayenne. Absolutely gorgeous cayenne peppers. The pelargoniums, as I've said before, I grow them a lot. These are the scented ones. So that is the rose variety there. I've got plenty of the Coca-Cola ones because they always smell really good, and they're still in flower. So again, any flowers that you've got in a polytunnel like this, you can actually drag all the bees in. Crikey, I've got beads of sweat running down me now. It's really hot in here. It's about 39, I think, still. Okay, one of the most prolific peppers you can get is this variety here. So these are Sugar Rush. So Sugar Rush peppers are, again, one of the first to actually mature, so they get their colour quite quickly. I think I should have probably brought my clippers with me, but again, yeah, these actually do really well. I'm going to leave that one probably to get a bit of colour before I eat it. We'll see how that goes. My vampire chilies are doing really well still. Look at the size of those beasts. So again, this is the actual vampire chili. These are, again, supposed to go red, and they are starting to get a little bit changing colour there. I think maybe there's some at the back which are more red. We'll see. What's that one like? Okay. Oh, it's got a bit of a red thing on it, but yeah, you can see where it's starting to go from black to that kind of red colour. Right. So this here is my oleander. Again, doing really well in the polytunnel. I think I'll leave it here. We'll see how that goes. We'll show you there we go. Right. So that's the polytunnels. I've got plenty of chilies to eat tonight and try. And yeah, sweat is pouring off me now. Right, let's have a look out here. It's a bit cooler here. So those are my tomato plants. I have got some tomatoes growing on them, variety of different colours and flavours and sizes. Do need to do a bit of weeding in the middle and probably tie a few of them in a bit more, just to give them a fighting chance of actually getting some nice ripe fruit. You can see there's tomatoes all there kicking around. The fennel is trying to go to seed now. They don't like the heat, so I have planted some more, so but you get these nice bulbs of fennel. So I'll be harvesting again some of these eventually. There we go. You can see through the ferns. So you get this nice aniseed taste from these. Fennel is really good when you put it in the oven, roast it with some of the other vegetables like beetroot and things like that. Really quite tasty. The spring onions and things I've planted are still doing okay. I'll harvest some of those as well at some point. And these are the garlic. So there's a few growing. I've got about 9 or 10 plants growing. So yeah, they're doing okay amongst the weeds. Again, need to harvest some more of the onions over here. We'll do that over the coming days. Right, let me take you back out and we'll show you the rest of what's going on. Okay, into the pumpkin patch. So these are the Japanese varieties of pumpkin. I can't remember what their names are. Pretty sure when I start harvesting them, hopefully I'll find out. Everything just seems to be growing now, including the weeds. So I've got quite a bit of weeding to do in here again. The narangilla here is growing. It's absolutely lethal. Haven't got anything in the way of fruit on it yet. There's still time. The vines from the pumpkins are doing really well though, so I'm going to have to start training these in up the supports, so hopefully we can get this vertical garden going in here. And again over this side, my butternut squashes never do great, and I think that's partly because they prefer a little bit of heat, and at least here they are a little bit more sheltered, unfortunately, so they're not getting the same heat as what they would get normally. They're supposed to do really well in polytunnels. Maybe one year I'll grow one in a polytunnel and see what I get. I nearly killed this entire pot of plants the other day, so I've had to tie them all in. So this is the pot of death really that I had inside the polytunnel that was doing really well, and unfortunately they got a bit droopy the other day. So I've got these absolutely gorgeous castor bean plants growing. There's a couple of purple datura at the front there, and this hairy balls in the middle, which again I very nearly killed, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll give everything a good watering again today. And again, the tomatoes, plenty of little flowers everywhere. I've not got much in the way of fruit on most of these yet though. I planted them really late. I'm hoping I get a harvest from them. Right. Okay, so we're coming to this last bit of the plot that I haven't really showed you today. So this is the sweet peas, still doing fantastic. I've left some to go to seed for next year's seed. Hopefully should be really good for next year. I won't need to buy any hopefully next year. I'm not going to know which is which though. That being said, I just put everything together on here anyway, so again, it should be quite nice. runner beans, I'm getting a few coming out now, so we're doing okay with the runner beans. Plenty growing there. I've got this, this is either a serpent gourd or it's a tromboncino. I'm hoping it's a tromboncino because I've not got much of anything else tromboncino wise growing. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. The courgettes, I'm still getting courgettes. I've had probably about 15 or so off these plants already. I just need to remember to harvest them a little bit smaller than what I have been. The other beans that I'm growing, so these are the other pole beans that aren't runner beans. Again, we're starting to get some nice pods. So these are beans that you don't harvest for the pods, you harvest for the beans inside. So it's things like the cave beans, the green portal beans, and the Old Mother Hubbard. I think that's what they're called. Old Mother Stoddard, I think they're called. But yeah, nice little friend there, nice little ladybird. If you've got any aphids kicking around, they're the things you want really. Right, and again, oh crikey, I think I've left that one a bit too long. I'll need to harvest that today. And again, some more runner beans at this end, which are just starting now to put the beans out. So yeah, we're doing all right. Right. Okay, so we're still doing okay. Still plenty growing, still plenty I need to harvest. And I've really gone pretty much quite well, I think, so far on sowing the new stuff for the succession, which we're going to get into the polytunnels and things when they come out in November. I've got loads of beetroot and things like that to grow, plenty to go in the ground. So hopefully we should be at least for the autumn, hopefully having quite a few plants that we can put in the ground. I still need to do some Cavolo Nero, still some other kale plants that I can get in, hopefully on the new plot that we've got at the top there over that winter period. The cabbage white butterflies don't particularly like the winter too much either, so hopefully over that winter period we can actually have some really decent brassicas growing, at least on the other plot once I get that sorted. But yeah, we've got a lot to do still, pretty much on this plot and also on my wife's plot. There's plenty that needs doing up there, and the new plot we haven't really touched yet. So again, that'll be something that hopefully we can do a how to get a plot up and running kind of thing going on. So yeah, allotments always have plenty to do. Right, so that's the bit of a tour for today, all sorted. So we'll see you on the next video. So till then, all the best, guys. Take care. Bye bye.